Stop chasing shadows. You've heard the phrase, but have you ever stopped to wonder what it really means? Most people spend their lives running after things, success, approval, happiness, only to find them slipping through their fingers. It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if the problem isn't what you're chasing, but the act of chasing itself? This is where Zen comes in, a way of life that flips everything you thought you knew upside down. Zen doesn't promise you an escape from life's challenges. Instead, it offers clarity, a way to see things as they truly are and break free from the mental traps that keep you stuck. And who better to guide us than Bodhidharma, the enigmatic founder of Zen Buddhism? In this video, we'll uncover Bodhidharma's transformative teachings, lesson by lesson. By the end, you'll see how these timeless principles can simplify your life, calm your mind, and help you embrace the present moment like never before. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a small act that helps us keep bringing you wisdom that truly matters. Now let's get started. Lesson 1. The origin of Zen. Zen isn't something you can explain in a few words. It's something you live. But let's start with a story, shall we? Picture this: a wandering monk named Bodhidharma leaves India in the 5th or 6th century and travels to China. He's not carrying a library of scrolls or scriptures. He's carrying a philosophy that challenges everything people thought they knew about spirituality. He arrives at the Shaolin Temple, sits facing a wall, and meditates. For 9 years. 9. Imagine doing nothing but sitting still for that long. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Yet, it's exactly this simplicity that birthed Zen Buddhism. Bodhidharma believed that enlightenment wasn't something you found in books or rituals. It was already within you. He shook the foundations of traditional Buddhism by teaching that the true nature of your mind is pure, but it's clouded by distractions and desires. Think of it like a glass of muddy water. The more you stir it, the murkier it gets. But if you let it sit, the mud settles, and you're left with clarity. So, what does this mean for you? You don't have to pack up and head to a monastery to find yourself. Zen starts where you are. Try this. The next time you're overwhelmed, stop. Don't react. Don't fixate on the chaos. Just sit quietly for 5 minutes, like Bodhidharma did, and observe your thoughts. Watch how the mud begins to settle. Zen isn't about escaping the world. It's about seeing it clearly. And that clarity? It's the foundation for everything else. But here's the kicker: clarity is just the beginning. What comes next is even more transformative. Lesson 2. The true nature of mind. Your mind is a trickster. It pulls you in 100 directions, keeps you second-guessing, worrying, and overthinking. Bodhidharma saw this chaos for what it truly is, an illusion. He taught that the essence of your mind, your true self, is untouchable, calm, and pure. It's like the sky. No matter how many clouds pass by, the sky itself remains unchanged. But most of us live as if we're the clouds, not the sky. We cling to fleeting thoughts, identify with every emotion, and let them define who we are. Ever felt like a bad day made you a failure? That's the mind playing its games. Zen teaches you to step back and observe. You're not your thoughts, you're the awareness behind them. Let's make this practical. The next time you feel anger bubbling up, don't suppress it, and don't let it control you either. Instead, observe it. Ask yourself, where did this come from? What's fueling it? You'll notice something fascinating. Emotions, like clouds, dissolve when you stop feeding them. Bodhidharma's brilliance lies in his simplicity. He didn't demand complex rituals or doctrines. He invited you to look within. The mind isn't the enemy, it's a tool. And when you master it, you unlock a freedom few ever experience. And yet, even mastering your mind is just a part of the journey. There's a deeper practice that brings this awareness to life. Lesson 3. The power of Zazen. What if I told you that sitting still could change your life? Not scrolling through your phone or daydreaming, but really sitting, completely present, with no agenda. That's Zazen, the cornerstone of Zen Buddhism. Bodhidharma didn't meditate for 9 years because he had nothing better to do. He did it because Zazen isn't about doing, it's about being. Zazen strips away the noise. It's deceptively simple. Sit, breathe, and let thoughts come and go like waves on a shore. No judging, no clinging, no trying to fix or change anything. Sounds easy, right? But here's the catch. Your mind will fight back. It'll remind you of every unfinished task, every little insecurity, every craving. That's the challenge and the gift. Think of Zazen as a mental detox. Start small, just 5 minutes a day. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. The space between your thoughts grows. You'll feel less reactive, less anxious. You'll begin to see things as they are, not as your mind wants them to be. Bodhidharma believes Zazen wasn't just a practice. It was a mirror. It shows you the truth of who you are without the masks, the stories, or the clutter. And once you start seeing clearly, you'll realize something profound. All those rituals and rules you thought were essential, maybe they're not as important as you once believed. Lesson 4. Beyond words and scriptures. Here's a paradox for you. Bodhidharma, a legendary teacher, didn't care much for teaching through words. He famously said, "A special transmission outside the scriptures. No reliance on words or letters." Sounds radical, doesn't it? After all, isn't Buddhism built on centuries of sacred texts? But Bodhidharma believed the truth couldn't be contained in words. It had to be experienced. Think about it. Have you ever read something so profound, but the moment you tried to explain it, it just fell flat? That's because words are like maps. They point to the destination, but can never replace the journey. Bodhidharma Zen was about cutting through the noise of intellectualism and getting to the heart of things. Here's an example. Imagine trying to describe the taste of chocolate to someone who's never eaten it. You could write an essay, but they'd never truly understand until they took a bite. That's Zen. Instead of overthinking life, it challenges you to live it. So, how do you apply this? Stop obsessing over having all the answers. If you're stuck on a problem, take action instead of overanalyzing. Want to understand compassion. Help someone in need instead of just reading about it. Bodhidharma's rejection of words wasn't a dismissal of wisdom. It was an invitation to discover it for yourself. Because once you've tasted the truth, no words are necessary. And yet, tasting the truth requires one key ingredient: being fully present in the moment. Lesson 5. Embracing the present moment. Time is a slippery thing. Most of us are either stuck in the past, replaying old regrets, or lost in the future, worrying about what's next. Bodhidharma had no patience for this. To him, the present moment wasn't just important, it was everything. He taught that life only happens now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, just this moment. But let's be honest, staying present isn't easy. Your mind loves to drag you into a mental maze. 1 minute, you're sipping coffee. The next, you're spiraling about an email you haven't sent. Zen cuts through all that noise. It's like hitting a mental reset button. Try this. The next time you're eating, put your phone down and focus entirely on your meal. Notice the flavors, the textures, the smell. Sounds simple, but you'll be amazed at how alive the moment becomes when you stop multitasking. Bodhidharma believed that the present moment held all the answers. Feeling overwhelmed? Don't plan an escape, sit with it. Feeling stuck? Don't rush for a solution, observe where you are. It's in this stillness that clarity arises. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the past or future. It means anchoring yourself in the now so you can handle both with grace. And once you've mastered this, you'll find yourself experiencing life in a way most people only dream of. But here's the thing, to fully embrace the present, you need to understand what lies beneath all distractions. Lesson 6. The concept of Satori enlightenment. What if I told you that enlightenment isn't some far-off destination? That it's not something reserved for monks on mountaintops or people who meditate for decades? Bodhidharma flipped the script on enlightenment. He taught that Satori, a sudden, transformative glimpse of truth, can happen at any moment. The catch? You have to be ready to see it. Think of Satori as a lightning bolt in a dark sky. It's brief but brilliant, and it reveals things you couldn't see before. It's that moment when everything clicks, when you realize the answer was in front of you all along. Have you ever had an epiphany in the shower or during a walk? That's a tiny taste of what Satori feels like, but on a much deeper level. Bodhidharma didn't believe you needed to chase enlightenment. He believed it was already within you, waiting to surface. But here's the tricky part. Satori often comes when you least expect it. It's not something you can force. It's something you prepare for by living mindfully. Want to cultivate the conditions for Satori? Start by questioning your assumptions. Ask yourself, what if what I believe isn't the full story? Practice being fully present, as we discussed earlier, and let go of the need for control. Sometimes, the very act of not trying is what opens the door to enlightenment. And when that door opens, even for a moment, you'll see life in a way you never thought possible. But enlightenment isn't the end. It's the beginning of an even deeper journey, one filled with paradoxes that challenge everything you know. Lesson 7. The Path of Paradox. What is the sound of one hand clapping? If that question made you pause or scratch your head, congratulations, you've just encountered a koan. Bodhidharma and the Zen tradition embrace these paradoxical riddles to challenge the logical mind and push students toward a deeper understanding. A koan isn't meant to be solved in the conventional sense. It's not a puzzle with a tidy answer. Instead, it's designed to short-circuit your usual way of thinking. Your logical mind tries to wrestle with it, but eventually, it hits a wall. And in that moment of frustration, something extraordinary can happen. A flash of insight, a breakthrough beyond words. Here's an example. Imagine you're meditating on the koan. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? At first, you'll try to reason it out. Then you might get annoyed or confused. But if you stay with it, if you let go of the need for a concrete answer, you might discover something unexpected about how your mind clings to certainty. Want to try this for yourself? Start with a simple koan like, what was your original face before you were born? Don't overthink it. Sit with the question. Let it simmer. Notice how it unsettles your usual thought patterns. Koans aren't about arriving at a destination. They're about breaking free from the mental traps that keep you stuck. And once you've tasted that freedom, you might just realize how much of your life is weighed down by unnecessary complexity. Lesson 8. Simplicity is liberation. We live in a world that glorifies complexity. More gadgets, more goals, more distractions. If you're not juggling 100 things, or even trying, Bodhidharma, however, saw things differently. For him, liberation wasn't about adding more to your life. It was about stripping it down to what truly matters. Think of your mind as an overpacked suitcase. Every thought, obligation, and worry is another item crammed inside, making it impossible to carry with ease. Zen invites you to unpack, to let go of the unnecessary, and to rediscover the freedom that comes with simplicity. So, where do you start? Begin with something small. Take a look at your physical space. Is your desk cluttered with things you don't use? Clear it. You'll notice that a tidy space often leads to a clearer mind. Then move to your mental space. Are you overcommit? Say no to something that doesn't align with your priorities. Bodhidharma didn't live a life of excess. His teachings remind us that simplicity isn't a sacrifice, it's a gift. When you remove the noise, you create room for what's meaningful. And that clarity, it's what allows you to navigate life with grace and purpose. But simplicity isn't just about what you let go of, it's about what you embrace. And to fully embrace the Zen way of living, there's one more essential lesson to uncover. Lesson 9. The discipline of self-reliance. Here's a truth that stings a little. No one's coming to save you. Bodhidharma didn't sugarcoat this reality. He believed that the path to enlightenment was deeply personal, something only you could walk. Sure, others can guide you, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to take the steps. Self-reliance isn't about being isolated or dismissing help. It's about taking responsibility for your journey. Bodhidharma taught that relying too much on external validation, rituals, or even teachers could distract you from the real work. The answers you're searching for, they're already within you. But let's be real, walking your path isn't easy. It takes discipline. Imagine starting a daily meditation practice. No one's going to remind you to sit down each morning. It's up to you to show up, even when you don't feel like it. Or think about a personal goal you've been avoiding. Who's stopping you from starting? Probably no one but yourself. Here's a practical tip. Write down one area in your life where you've been waiting for someone else to act. Now ask yourself, what can I do to move this forward? Then do it. Even a small step can spark momentum. Bodhidharma's message wasn't about abandoning support. It was about realizing your inner strength. When you stop waiting for others to lead, you'll discover a sense of freedom and empowerment that's hard to put into words. And as you take charge of your journey, you'll begin to see how Zen isn't just a practice, it's a way of living that permeates everything you do. Lesson 10. Zen in everyday life. Zen isn't meant to stay on a meditation cushion or hidden in a temple. Bodhidharma taught that the true power of Zen lies in how you bring it into your everyday life. Think about it, what good is enlightenment if it doesn't help you handle traffic, a tough boss, or a messy kitchen? Zen is about finding clarity and peace right in the middle of life's chaos. Start small. The next time you're washing dishes, pay attention to the feel of the water, the sound of the plates clinking. When you're walking, notice the rhythm of your steps, the way the air feels on your skin. These moments, when fully experienced, become meditations in motion. Zen in everyday life is also about letting go of judgment. Did someone cut you off in traffic? Instead of fuming, take a breath and let it pass. Are you frustrated with a project that's not going as planned? Approach it with curiosity instead of criticism. It's not about being passive. It's about responding with awareness rather than reacting out of habit. Bodhidharma didn't believe in separating the sacred from the mundane. For him, life itself was the practice. Every conversation, every task, every challenge, it's all an opportunity to embody Zen. And here's the best part. The more you bring Zen into your daily life, the more natural it becomes. You'll start noticing how small shifts in awareness ripple out into big changes in how you experience the world. But even this is just the beginning of what Zen can teach you. So here we are, Bodhidharma's wisdom laid out, waiting for you to put it into action. But here's the big question. What will you do with it? Will you let these teachings slip away like water through your fingers? Or will you embrace them and start transforming your life one moment at a time? Imagine what could change if you stopped chasing shadows and started living with clarity. How would it feel to free yourself from the clutter in your mind, to live simply, and to find peace in the present? It's not just possible, It's entirely within your reach. Now I challenge you, pick one lesson from today and put it into practice. Maybe it's setting aside 5 minutes for zazen, or perhaps it's letting go of a judgment you've been holding on to. Small steps lead to big transformations. Which one will you take today? And if you want to go deeper, I've got something for you. Check out the book 2 Entrances and 4 Practices by Bodhidharma. It's incredibly affordable on Amazon, and you'll find the link pinned in the first comment below. It's your next step into the world of Zen. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss more wisdom like this. And if you're ready for the next step in your journey, click on the card right here to watch the next video. Thanks for spending this time with us. Now take a deep breath and let's walk the path of Zen together.